Tea was poured. The cup did not tremble. Velgrynd sat exactly as she always did, back straight, posture refined, eyes calm enough to pass for indifference. Anyone watching closely would have mistaken it for leisure. Anyone watching closely enough would have felt the pressure in the room instead. Because while she refined herself, the world began to tighten. Inside the foreign ministry, tension did not rise. It condensed. Suspicion pooled in corners where words were not spoken aloud. The intelligence chief, jaw clenched, said nothing, but inside, he was already preparing accusations. Treason, recklessness, catastrophic arrogance. In his mind, Velgrynd was not a savior. She was a liar exploiting a collapsing world. And worse, if she was telling the truth, then humanity was already past the point of saving. That thought alone was unacceptable. Then the first reply arrived. Not paperwork, not envoys, not protocol. A voice, clear, familiar, warm. Velgrynd, hi Velgrynd, it's me. The room fractured. President George Hayes of the United States of Azyria did not speak like a head of state. He spoke like someone greeting family. Shock rippled through the ministry as Velgrynd smiled faintly and answered without hesitation, calling him Little George, speaking of his late father Laurent as if he had only stepped out of the room moments ago. Disbelief turned to silence. Silence turned to certainty. This was not posturing. This was not strategy. This was history, walking back into the present without asking permission. Requests became agreements before they could be framed. Excuses evaporated mid-thought. A summit, once unthinkable, became a scheduling inconvenience. Before the room could recover, the Holy Arshan Empire followed. Their call was different. Reverent, careful, afraid. Bright, leader of the 7 sacred treasures, spoke as though his voice itself might offend her. His question cut straight through layers of doctrine and devotion. Are you truly the goddess we worship? Velgrynd's response was sharp, almost offended. She named Shin, the divine founding emperor. She questioned why 7 treasures were honored when 12 had once existed. Facts not written, not archived. Passed only through guarded oral tradition, spoken casually, effortlessly, like correcting a child's arithmetic. Bright broke. Doubt collapsed under the weight of memory he did not realize was real until she spoke it aloud. He bowed, deep, unseen, absolute. I sincerely apologize, my goddess. I will immediately report to the emperor. Velgrynd dismissed him with a wave of impatience. She had what she wanted. 2 nations moved at her command. Not through threats, not through deception, but through memory, authority, and truth so undeniable it erased resistance at the root. The tea beside her cooled. The balance of the world shifted with it. Her next target was the greater Rossium dynasty, and from the moment she reached out, she knew something was wrong. Silence. A secure line choked by interference that had no business existing in a world with such limited magical infrastructure. To Velgrynd, the conclusion was immediate. The Yoma had moved. She did not hesitate. Magic layered over machinery. Glowing circles sketched themselves into existence, converting sorcery into signal with casual precision. The jamming collapsed instantly. The reply burst through. Not calm, not measured, but panicked. Mayday, mayday! The Yoma are attacking the royal palace! The empire was already burning. Velgrynd met hysteria with composure. She rebuked them, not cruelly, but decisively, then inverted the power dynamic entirely. Aid would not be begged for. It would be bargained. I'm the one who deserves to make demands of you. Her condition was absolute. Rossium's ruler, or an equivalent supreme commander, would attend the coming summit. Only then would she intervene. With the palace under siege and the nation unraveling, Emperor Magellan finally saw the truth. Once a conqueror, now a prisoner of wars engineered by infiltrators, he recognized the futility of pride. His trusted advisor had been possessed. Pulcinella, humanity's last hope, had fallen. Riots consumed the capital. Fear spread faster than famine or steel. Faced with extinction, he consented. When acceptance was relayed, Velgrynd did not offer reassurance. She acted. I'm going to deploy a gate over there, so go through and come over here. Reality folded. Space bent like fabric under a hand that knew exactly how much pressure to apply. A rift opened, revealing Velgrynd seated calmly on the other side. Dimensional connection. Distance erased as an inconvenience. The room fell into stunned silence. In that instant, Rossium understood. This woman was not a negotiator, not a savior. She was authority, beyond nations, beyond war. And whatever the cost, they must never stand against her. Shock rippled through the foreign ministry as Rossium's leaders stood where logic said they could not be. Even seasoned analysts grasped at half-remembered legends of teleportation that paled beside what they had just witnessed. Uniting three nations so instantly, someone whispered, awe hardened into certainty. My goddess, you are truly a goddess. From that moment, resistance vanished. Her authority was no longer debated. It was assumed. With Azaria and Arshia secured, the officials confirmed the obvious. Three nations were enough to force a summit. Diplomacy roared back to life. Obedience replaced hesitation. Velgrynd turned to the Rossium survivors with cool honesty. Only those present had been saved. Anyone left behind would depend on how swiftly the Yoma were crushed. Gratitude poured out regardless. Emperor Magellan offered rewards worthy of desperation. I don't need anything, she replied. Just help me out with this operation. Even an emperor understood. His life had been spared not by mercy, but by utility. When asked her name, she answered simply, call me Ryu-O. And just like that, she assumed sovereignty without crown or throne. The bureaucracy adapted instantly. Rooms prepared, escorts assigned, protocol rewritten mid-breath. One official, Kanji Yamamoto, moved faster than the rest, offering rare Jokuro tea and decadent sweets in a bold gamble for favor. Against all expectation, it worked. I'll remember that name, she said, and meant it. Then the final piece fell into place. The Chinese have responded. They'll attend the summit. The impossible became inevitable. 5 nations, 1 table. The world's future was no longer drifting. It had been seized. The confirmation hit Oharu like a thunderclap. An international summit secured almost effortlessly. Her goodwill was genuine, but absolute. If it ever shifted, the consequences would be unthinkable. Still, there was only one response left. Trust. Thank you, Velgrynd, he said. And I'd be even happier if you keep helping me like this. Her laughter answered him. For Velgrynd, Ludora's happiness, Oharu's happiness, was reason enough to move worlds. The summit was set for the next day. Speed mattered more than ceremony. The burden fell on exhausted intelligence officers as Velgrynd issued orders with imperial ease. A venue solemn and impressive by morning. Then the final instruction. She would physically bring every leader to the same room. That'll save people some trouble. Questions became irrelevant. Refusal unthinkable. By nightfall, sleep vanished. By morning, the fate of humanity would be decided face to face. Meeting hall number 2 was rebuilt overnight. Solemn, elegant, authority distilled into architecture. Velgrynd approved it with a glance. I like this. Well done. One sentence turned exhaustion into triumph. Without ceremony, she summoned the first leader. Space folded. President George Hayes appeared in the room itself. Shock rippled through his cabinet, but Velgrynd greeted him with warmth. Their reunion unfolded like family memory. Laughter, nostalgia, stories of Laurent Hayes, hurricanes diverted, childhood baseball games. She's not even trying to hide how abnormal she is. Then the tone shifted. George's composure cracked. Azeria's military had been compromised. Mystics demanded submission. Their emissary was his son, Emil, wearing his face, hollowed by something inhuman. My son needs help, Velgrynd answered without hesitation. I'll save Emil, and I'll protect Azeria's honor as well. It was not bravado. It was promise. The mystics sought control, not annihilation. Governments were leverage, bodies resources. Azaria was not alone. China and Rossium faced the same knife. That's what today's summit is for. George left renewed. Velgrynd remained, unshaken. Then Arshia arrived, dragged across an ocean in an instant. Outrage met disdain. Not that you can hide something like that at your level. Then Emperor Zangu spoke, young, radiant. Arrogant enough to mistake ignorance for courage, he accused her of imposture, claimed she posed as the goddess Cardina. The room tightened. He threatened to claim her as a plaything. Velgrynd sighed. Magicules gathered. An azure dragon sword formed from nothing. Divine metal, born instantly. Will this suffice? She asked. It has god-class abilities. The moment Zangu touched it, doubt collapsed. Arrogance shattered. What stood before him was not myth exaggerated by time. It was history itself, returned. And for the first time, Emperor Zangu understood how close he had come to ruin. The trap had closed. Not with force, but with inevitability.